Hi guys, welcome back to the Wrestling Folks podcast. This is Jeevan Punk, Chris Rhodes, and Jazz Cena, and we welcome you to Terrific Thursdays with the Wrestling Folks.
Take it away, Mr. Chris Rhodes.
All right, welcome back, people. Welcome to the second episode of the Wrestling Folks podcast, where we'll be covering everything pro wrestling over the past week. We're going to be predominantly covering WWE and AEW. While we've had some chatter from the Japanese side of things, we're also going to try and cover that. So, we're going to start with the biggest promotion because they take the cake every single week. So, let's start with the quarterback on the end of WWE, which is going to be Cody Rhodes, the undisputed champion. So, if you watched SmackDown last week, you will have seen that Cody Rhodes was viciously attacked by Drew McIntyre. Are we seeing a new feud brewing? We know there's a lot of history between the two people. I'd love to hear what my friends have to say in this regard. So, let's start with Jazz C. So, Jazz, what do you think of this?
I'm gonna give the start for this one to Mr. Punk because he is very excited to talk about this, and I'll take the next turn.
Okay, so I'll keep it as brief as possible. When Cody came to WWE in 2022, who was the biggest babyface at that time? Who was the biggest
Drew McIntyre. He hits the spot of his victory against Brock.
Yes, he was Drew McIntyre. He was the longest he was the WWE champion during the COVID era. He was the biggest babyface. And Cody comes in. Now he was the biggest babyface. And you know what? Who was the last match of Drew McIntyre in the Indies? It was Cody Rhodes, who was the guy who got fired, made his name in the Indies, then came back to WWE. It was
McIntyre.
McIntyre was the blueprint for Cody Rhodes. He is one of the biggest opponents Cody could have faced, and my personal thought always was I wanted McIntyre to win the Elimination Chamber. I always wanted him to get the biggest first push, and I wanted him to win the WWE Championship from Cody Rhodes. I never felt Cena should have won it. I always felt either should have been Punk or either should have been Drew. And Drew being a corporate champion made perfect sense, but I really hope Drew is the guy who takes the title from Cody either now or after some time. He should be the guy, but I don't see it personally. I'll give you my reason. The way WWE works is there has to be one babyface champion there, heel champion. Seth is already a heel champion there, so Cody has to be the babyface champion. It might change, but we need to discuss that further. So there is one more thing which happened on Raw, and then we can discuss like what I mean to say. But yeah, that's what my thought was. Back to you guys.
All right, so I'll take the next one. So Drew McIntyre was the ultimate babyface back in the day. In comes Cody Rhodes, as Mr. Punk just mentioned, and things change a bit. Then Drew McIntyre, very understandably with the kind of theme and the kind of entrance that this guy has, turns into a heel. And my goodness, is he acting the perfect heel for a while. He makes it look fun, he makes it look intimidating, he makes it look fantastic inside the ring. His storytelling devices are fantastic, his physical selling is fantastic, and Cody Rhodes needs a guy of that physicality and that kind of charisma to bring the best out of him. So that's why Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre's feud is gonna make so much sense if WWE actually does justice to it. I know, as Punk mentioned, that there is a trend in WWE that there is a heel champion, there is a face champion at the same time, but I won't mind a heel only or a face only era because that really complements the way the company is making feuds right now. These are all huge names, and things should get a little dynamic. It will add some beautiful garam masala to all this curry that is brewing in the storytelling. But yeah, that's it from my end. Off to you, Mr. Rhodes.
I see where the both of you are going with this. I'd like to think that WWE has more of late embraced an anti-hero-esque theory where they want their biggest stars to all be anti-heroes. You can look at Gunther, you can look at Roman Reigns, you can look at Seth Rollins, you can look at, just like we were saying, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was an anti-hero. Drew McIntyre was never a legit face. He was an anti-hero. He was just the biggest star they had over the course of that mania. And once the undesirable to undeniable lapel pin was pinned onto Cody Rhodes, it is understandable that Drew McIntyre would lose his shit, because he is who made Cody Rhodes who Cody Rhodes is in WWE today. Because he's shown him how someone who was undesirable in the WWE had to go out to make a name so that the whole world wanted him to come back home. So when Drew McIntyre did create that whole blueprint, it just doesn't make sense for Cody to become that poster boy. And understandably so, Dwayne is behind Drew, while Hunter is behind Cody. That is another poetic way to look at this, because of the whole shitstorm that is going on between Dwayne and Trips. So yeah, I think this is going to be a great feud. And I'm not really going gaga over the tag team match, but it's okay.
It was fun. It was fun. Let's put it this way. It was fun. And honestly, the other side of the tag team match, where Cena is gonna face Logan Paul in the beautiful country of the croissants in France. So that, I know, I can see from Mr. Punk's expression what are his thoughts about that. But keeping the persona outside WWE aside, just keeping whenever this guy is inside the ring for now, just for this moment, that match will be selling a lot of tickets. That match will look interesting, and there is a soft enough storytelling premise for a guy who has got 11 matches left that it will make it an interesting one. But coming back to McIntyre and Mr. Cody Rhodes, one thing that we have to mention is that before all of this happened, they also were the dashing ones. They were the tag team partners back in the day, way back in the day. And that was also something that can be a long-term storytelling device. Right?
I completely forgot about that. It's his the champion.
This is where I
Completely forgot about that.
this is where my millennial watching spidey senses start tingling. Cody Rhodes, you remember his cash line that time was, I look good, I do anything and I look good.
Cody Rhodes.
It was all about the pizzazz and the glam and the charm and trying to do makeup when it comes to Cody Rhodes. It was cringe. Drew McIntyre was also a clean shaven, big haired, not so bulky at that era, man. And it was a lot of fun. They even won a tag team championship and had a quite good run at that time. So there is long-term storytelling in this feud that started as absolute babyface, literal babyface friends. Tag team
It was
champions.
not long. It was for 1 month. They debuted together in September 11, and they were disbanded in October. So it was 1.5 months.
But for that kind of a tag team championship where the whole gimmick was just jazz and pizzazz, 1.5 months feel like years. So
Yeah, no, that era of WWE in itself was like that. So I can imagine how painful it would have been to sit through a whole month of it.
yeah, but so there is some fun things, some fun banter on the mic that can happen in roasting each other. So yeah, this has the potential to be the next big thing in the world of feuds.
I just wanted to go up to the caliber of Kevin Owens and Cody. You know, that purity of a match they had at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yes.
So I'd love to see one more of those.
There was this one moment in this tag team match when I think this was before the bell rung or after the bell rung, before or after the low blow. But Cody Rhodes was, it was about after the low blow from Logan Paul to Cena, that Cody was absolutely angry. He had taken off the top of the Spanish announce table, and for a moment the face looked like the the same kind of face that we saw in the Kevin Owens match, where we all thought, is a turn really gonna happen very soon? Is a Cody Homelander thing gonna happen really soon? And there was a small, very small snippet of that in this match itself. And we need that to happen in this. So just like Mr. Rhodes just now mentioned, the in-ring Mr. Rhodes, not this podcast one, also needs to build the same kind of feud. And that has to happen. That will be amazing. Like a rugged, rough face, a brutal face, a super face against a Drew McIntyre.
So it's going to be another Super Cena, basically.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah, all right. So I'm pretty sure we've covered the Undisputed Championship to the world's end. So let's quickly move on to the other championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, which has its own thing going. So on Raw, Seth Rollins was greeted by an old friend, LA Knight, who he cheated and they win the match. Yeah, at Saturday night's main event, only to come back at SummerSlam and shock the whole universe by cashing in against a 5-minute champion going by the name of CM Punk. Wink to McIntyre, I get you. So LA Knight, absolutely incensed, wanted a rematch, but he was looking to cash in more. So he wanted the championship on the line. So he came out, demanded for a match. Adam Pearce, being Adam Pearce, who was surprisingly in a very giving mood, started giving out everything people want. So we got versus LA Knight. Yeah, and turns out LA Knight was not the only guy in tow. They've been teasing a fatal 4-way match all week long. And it looks like Adam Pearce wanted to give the world just that little bit more, so we're getting a fatal 4-way match in the beauty city of Paris. The city of romance is not going to have any romance at the main event. So I'd like to get thoughts from everybody here. So let's go on to my guy Punk. What do you think, buddy?
I see where they are going. I think it's just a showcase match. Pierce, one of my favorite thing was when Seth realizes that it's going to be a multi-man match, and Pierce obviously announces Jey Uso, then LA Knight, or vice versa. And at the end, Seth is anticipating he's gonna name CM Punk, and he's just looking at the bat, and the frustration you see on his face is just so funny. And this, the hatred they have felt. But I'm tired of this feud. The Punk Seth, I think, park it for some time. Let's do something else, and then come back to it after some time. So, guys, I feel what we are building for right now. It's going to be a War Games match. We're waiting for War Games. We're waiting for November. So it's going to be Punk, Knight, probably, almost reasonably it seems. Uso, I don't know why, and probably Roman, as things are going, and maybe one more guy, or probably Sami here. And then LA, his full sets for whole group. 3 people, he might add someone else. He might add, I don't know, Rusev. I don't know, he gets Ethan Page involved, Ricky Saints involved. I won't mind Ricky Saints and CM Punk again. I don't know, I won't mind it. But that's what we are building for. And I'm, again, might be being a negative Nancy. We know what's going to happen. We know what we're building to. So, this pay-per-view feels like a filler match for me. And then I want to come down to one more thing about this pay-per-view. Cena turns face in August, right? At SummerSlam. Or a week prior to SummerSlam, properly at SummerSlam. What we saw with Cena was, he faced everyone he has ever faced before. Only person you could say was Cody. But Cody is Cody. Cody doesn't need that fight. So he faced Orton, he faced Truth, he faced CM Punk, he faced Cody again.
Yep.
From his whole retirement run, only person who profited out of that was R-Truth.
Yep.
We were going to get on to that soon, but I'd love for you to hold your opinions when we get there.
Yes.
So yeah, let's go there after it, but that's where I'm coming from this point of view.
Yeah. So the only thing I would change in your opinion, Punk, is that I'm pretty sure Roman's not coming back to get himself involved in this feud. He's been written off TV as of this Monday.
No, he was facing Reed, I think, in Paris.
Yeah, not for sure. The Shula Fala match has to happen.
I think he's facing them.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so I think him and Cody are going to go off shooting the new Street Fighter live action movie together. So, yeah, so that is going to happen. Cody is going to have to lose his title. Right?
Yeah, I think so. But
Yeah.
if he's going to lose his title, then the only person needs to be done is Drew for me. If you're gonna do it, it has to be Drew.
Yeah, but getting back to the match, getting back to Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight, I agree with Mr. Punk's point, that the Seth and CM Punk things is getting a little tiresome now. It's run its course. It was a lot of fun, but I am seeing the seeds of a new one brewing in the same era. I think I am seeing a Punk versus Knight thing brewing slowly and steadily, because they both are egotistical people. They both are very on the face, on the mic, physically on each other type of people, very earnest fighters as well, very old school in their move set as well at times. So this is a feud that I am seeing the seeds of, and it is growing every meeting. The frustrations are rising. This is the classical type of storytelling that I feel is happening, where some certain small events are just piling on top of each other, and we are about to reach a tipping point in this. And I feel that Paris is where the tipping point is gonna happen, and that is where the Seth Rollins things is gonna get a soft ending, and the Punk and LA Knight thing is gonna start, per se. Uso will be involved in some way or shape, because Ye and Yeet is something that is a lot of fun for some casual audience, ticket bringing audience, and merch bringing audience. This guy may not be the best in the ring, but he is a superstar when it comes to connecting with the people. So it's a very interesting intersection that Jey Uso solo, when he is running solo, pun intended, he's an interesting phenomenon, I will say. But yeah, I think Punk and Knight is the next feud. And if that is, again, if it is done properly, these two superstars have the chops to take it to the next level, while both acting like a anti-hero face. And I'm seeing a lot of this trend, the anti-hero face versus anti-hero face, but in two very different spaces while being in the same narrative. I'm seeing seeds of this all around WWE for past 3-4 months, and honestly, it will make for good television and storytelling if done well. Let's see long term how it goes by the end of this year, but I have a feeling this is gonna happen.
I'd like to agree with that, given the fact that WWE has fully embraced the anti-hero era, like I was putting it earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, moving on to big.
That's why they fired Cross as well.
Yeah. Oh, wait, dude, that's over. We'll get to that later.
Hold on.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. So, moving on to other big news, the women's championship on the Red brand is possibly pregnant. That is why she was not medically cleared to compete on Monday Night Raw to face Io Sky for the championship. But
Yes.
how true is it? We still do not have official confirmation. But it is being heavily teased that Naomi will be taking up to a year off because she's pregnant. She might have to go on maternity leave with the whole thing. So yeah, if that is true, well, I don't have anything else to say but congratulations to the Parker family.
Exactly. Congratulations.
To have a grandson or a granddaughter. So that's a good sight in grooming the third generation of the bloodline. He's obviously groomed into world champions. So it will be nice to see him grooming the next generation as well.
Yeah.
Right. I look forward to it. So yeah, Naomi.
The rumors are true.
If the rumors are true, yes, totally. I can't say I want them to be true, but I'm not going to.
It will be nice.
If it is, yeah,
Yeah, it will be nice.
nicer. It'll be a much more wholesome moment for everyone.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, so and then we move on to the women's championship on the SmackDown's end, which was basically non-existent on this week's SmackDown, bar a backstage segment between Tiffy and Jade, where Jade was finally, yeah, Jade just wanted to say she could obliterate her, and Tiffy being overconfident. Tiffy just said, try.
117 days I have done what I have done. I'll keep doing what I am doing, and you'll keep losing the way you are losing. That's it. That was it.
Yeah, they just, and it almost looked like they were just trying to squeeze their women's championship somewhere on the show,
Yeah.
which I'm not a huge fan of because
Not honestly, I'll repeat something I said in the previous in the first episode of this podcast, that when there are so many great things happening in the women's roster and the women's championship all around for the last 1.5 years, these are the kind of things that make it a little sour, and WWE has to be better at dealing with these things. It means they are doing so much, they are doing so good, but then suddenly moments like this happen and it's just a little sour. So yeah, hopefully, again, we are blessed with a lot of good things, but suddenly we are being thrust with a lot of bad things quickly, very fast, and that's not really fun.
yeah. So moving on from bad things to much better things, Dominic Mysterio, our United States champion, he is competing for the AAA Mega Championship this weekend for Triple Mania, the flagship event of AAA or AAA for those of us that's American. So AAA is going to be hosting, like I was saying, their flagship event. So it's basically their WrestleMania. They call it Triple Mania. There is going to be a fatal 4-way match for the AAA Mega Championship between El Hijo del Vikingo, El Grande Americano, Dominic Mysterio, and Psycho Clown.
Yeah.
Psycho Clown. So I'm inclined to think that Dominic Mysterio is going to win this one because I terribly don't want to see El Grande Americano winning anything.
I'm 99.9% sure that it's gonna be our guy who's gonna win this one. It's not gonna be El Grande Americano, but Dominic Mysterio, after winning the championship, is probably gonna be thrust into a love-hate kind of feud with El Grande Americano, and I am not liking that. I hope that AAA is where this guy gets killed. Like, this character gets killed. That's it. That's what we need. It's done and dusted. Unmask this piece of shit and get it done.
There are 4 El Grande guys.
Let's unmask Ludwig Kaiser. Let's unmask Tyler Bate. Let's unmask Pete Dunne. Let's unmask the Fleet Brother.
Everywhere.
Unmask Ivy Nile. Let's unmask everybody who has access to that blue, red, and white mask, except Mysterio and Dragon Lee, because they deserve that mask more than anybody else on the face of this planet. And of course, the brothers who would forget them.
Right, Nathan is Pentagon Jr.
Yeah, Penta. He's in the dub now, so he's Penta. So
yeah.
So just be done with this already. I just hope AJ Styles come back in full force and beat the absolute shit out of Dominic, and then push him into that triangle segment between Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, with Raquel Rodriguez running interference on the other end. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. We are waiting for it with bated breaths. Whenever Liv Morgan is back, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's
going to be amazing PB all over again, because last time you've seen Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan do this, it was the ratings were at an all-time high. I think Punk will totally agree to it, and he'll naturally have something in his words. So I'd love to listen to what he has to say. So, well,
I actually would be a shocker for you. I don't have anything to say.
Wow.
Because I just want to see what is done to be done. Unlike you guys, I don't see American. What is this? El Grande Americano being over till like just now. I think until Chad Gable is back, it's not gonna get over. So it's gonna stretch like Mr. Fantastic and Fantastic Four steps. That's gonna have.
You had to say that, we were just wishfully thinking that hopefully it doesn't happen. We know it's gonna happen.
I just want to add an
But-
allegory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add an allegory. Spoiler alert, if you have seen Fantastic Four, the first steps, it is a scene where Galactus stretches Mr. Fantastic. That Galactus is Triple H, and that Fantastic Four is basically their Grand Americana story. So that's what's happening.
I love the allegory. I hate the story behind it. And that's how we all feel here on this podcast. It just has to go, but it won't, and it sucks. But moving on to things that are better, take it away again, my man.
John Cena. I love that segment between John Cena and R-Truth. John Cena went the extra mile to show off that R-Truth was the guy that went through the heel turn and not John Cena. I mean, come on. That was absolute cinema. That's possibly the best movie. That's possibly the best movie John Cena's ever been in.
He was in Bumblebee. Bumblebee is the best movie he was ever in.
So I think this is better. I think this beat.
Can you guys imagine? They went through the whole process of firing R-Truth, bringing him back, giving him a new character, and then returning him to the previous character.
This is the kind of hilarious plot truths that we love.
I, with any sort of sense, watch this show and I'm like, do you think I'm dumb? Do you think I'm dumb that I've forgotten the past 6 months? Oh, it's really right, Till.
It's fun.
No, but this is what the one will do to college. This is what want me to do. This is not real for me. This is serious for me.
Yeah, this was wonderful. But I have to digress with both of you. The best movie John Cena was ever in was Mermaid Barbie. That's it. That's the best of John Cena. Period. In a cinema.
Watched it.
Singing to Dua Lipa. That is it.
I've never watched that movie, thankfully. My favorite movie of his right now is Ricky Stanicky.
That's what.
And second is Heads of State.
I haven't seen it.
It is a beautiful movie. Idris Elba and John Cena absolutely murder.
And Priyanka Chopra.
Yeah, Priyanka Chopra is not really the top.
I have not seen the movie, so no spoilers.
I'm
Please.
not spoiling it, but Priyanka Chopra is not really the talking point of the movie, personal opinion.
Yeah.
So-
But getting back to the wrestling, John Cena, R-Truth, the whole mirror thing, you turned heel, and the facial expressions of R-Truth. Ron Killings is gone, R-Truth is back, and the sliding in of that, if you back, we back. That was like absolute cinema. And that is what, from now onwards, this is what the retirement tour, I almost said retirement truth, needs to be. It needs to be entertainment. So that is the only reason why I feel Logan Paul will be entertaining, especially if Cena beats the shit out of him.
He's gonna win because Brock's gonna come in. Just letting you know. Now I'm gonna rant, guys. So I'm going to be the ranting guy.
I'll give 120-second window to rant your art.
No, I need less than that. Okay, I need less than that. I'm gonna start here. So you turned Cena heel. You flipped the switch. You faced him with Cena, with Orton, with Punk, with Truth. Last year of Cena, the person who profited the most out of it was R-Truth. R-Truth is 50. And Cody's 44 or something like that, or 42. That's what you've been doing. And the next person you do, who has enough heat, if you do enough heat, is Logan Paul. He doesn't need more heat to be facing John Cena. You had last 4 months, you could have done with Penta, who would have done with Phoenix, could have done with Carmelo Hayes, who has a story of debuting against Adam Cole the same way Cena did against Kurt Angle. You could have had Andrade. You could have had proper Ludwig Kaiser as a champion. Even you have fucking Dom in here. You could have Grayson Waller. Fuck it. Who do you put in? You put in Logan Paul. One last thing, I'm just gonna say this. In the previous iteration of this company, WWE was the product. Now, since TKO has bought it, we are the product. And what they are selling to, or who they are selling to, is not us. They're selling to sponsors. That is why you see all of these celebrities on TV. Because then we are the marketers and the product always is. And who are they getting money from? They're getting money from the sponsors as well as from us, because the tickets are fucking expensive. It's $80 a seat, which is just
cheap.
yeah, closer than cheap seats. So cheapest seats are $80. And if you compare it to previous time, when even AEW currently, it's just too much. AEW I think is $20 something. What are you even doing? What are you even doing right now? You gotta end it, and then we have the next 2 months. You just have September, October, and November. In December, first week he's retired. You have 3 months.
Yeah.
And from 3 months, you wasted 3 days of him with Logan Paul. I'm done.
Yeah, so I absolutely agree with everything that Mr. Punk has just said, and it's a way. I'm not even saying that every single person mentioned just now in the rant should have been fighting with John Cena in
I
the
think
things.
Just
But-
one thing.
But then,
Just one thing. Punk, Orton, and even R-Truth made sense, but it was stretched.
so yeah, I will say the only one who was not stretched was Orton. It happened very fast. So that is one that happened very quickly. It was just 2 appearances and done. And that was pretty cool. It was that was in the early phase, that was the only feud that was done in a way retirement tour feud should look like. So yeah. The one with Cody Rhodes also makes sense when it comes to business, because that is the overall across the year storytelling, that one constant that has to happen. So that is also fine by me. But in general, he should have been fighting. He should have been doing what the way he entered in the Ruthless Aggression era is what he should have done to a lot of young superstars. And I still feel that 3-4 of those are gonna happen in the next few matches. I really hope that at least 2 of them do happen. But yeah, it's a travesty. It's a travesty of wasted storytelling. I liked that there was a heel turn, but I liked the way they went with the story. I would have preferred it if the same story was happening when Cena had 3-4 years left in the tank, and not when the number of matches are this limited. That's the only problem. It wasted a lot of the retirement tour on a storyline that deserved to be longer and better written.
Yeah, and it's a time with Logan Paul as well. They had a tag match. Cena and Paul versus.
At this point of time, I'm not even willing to give too much space to Logan Paul, because he's taking enough space as it is. Right. He's taking enough space as it. Whenever he's inside the ring, if I just imagine him as a faceless blob, I like the moves, I like the wrestling, but beyond that, nothing works. The character doesn't work at all. His story doesn't work at all. Like, it's just weird, is what it is, I'll say. I've said in the past that business-wise, it makes sense getting the younger population from Instagram. He has a clout. It makes sense from that perspective. But then write him well, dude. You have great writers in your room who can create a good storyline for even this fella. They have done that in the past with some very, very pathetic humans. So they can do that with another pathetic human. They can at least give him a good storyline. But no, it's fuck all. So yeah, that is sad. It's wastage of a lot of things. What I want is, honestly, at this point of time, just do a heel versus heel match with Dominic Mysterio. Dom beats the shit out of this guy just for fun, pours a lot of prime bottles on him, and send him home like a wet cat that he is. That's
how you turn Dominic a proper. Him beat Logan Paul. He beat Logan Paul.
You put Dominic and Logan Paul in the same match, Dominic will become the biggest face that this company is.
Exactly. And honestly, that's what I want. I want Dominic to be a face when Liv Morgan comes back. Because imagine the story that happens when this guy has actually become a face and now this triangle is happening. It will be hilarious.
I think what's gonna happen, I feel it's with the story of posing. I think Liv already was a face. And once she's going to be back, she's gonna be a bigger face because she's coming back from an injury. So I think Liv and Dom, both says it's going to be
Raquel and Finn Balor. No, not actually.
yeah, Roxanne and Finn Balor. Yeah, Roxanne and Finn Balor. I think that is what's gonna happen.
And then Finn Balor getting the proper heel run that he deserves.
I think I completely have lost hope then that we're ever gonna see a Finn Balor proper run. I don't think it's gonna.
So coming back, we've done some fantasy writing, which is a great thing. So let's now come. Yeah, I like the fantasy writing. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, we are all fan fiction people here, people. So yeah,
Not great writers, but great readers, nevertheless. So
absolutely.
So coming back. So now that we've covered John Cena and Logan Paul has overstayed his welcome. His moveset is just like his talent excopied from another person who's probably a biggest star on the other side of one. So I'll just leave it at that. So for people who don't understand what I'm trying to say, please look up Hangman Adam Page. He will be mentioned a lot towards the tail end of this podcast because he's the biggest star of the next company that we covered in a bit. So you will understand everything that I have to say about it when you Google it, right? So let's quickly move on from Dominic Mysterio to what's something that's not so forgettable in that company anymore right now. Let's see. I'm not interested in covering Brock Lesnar because he's basically an unaccepted all over again.
Yeah, we all know that.
Year ends at SummerSlam is basic.
People go back to the previous episode and listen to our rant that happened around at the approximately 50-minute mark of that episode, and you will get to see what we talk about Lesnar, and we don't need to even mention that name in this video anymore. That's it.
So I want to add something about it. Chris, if you have heard, AEW has its pay-per-view in September or October, and WWE is also planning a pay-per-view around the same time. September, all out September, and that is where they are planning to have Brock Lesnar versus John Cena.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
That's what you try to do to put out AEW.
On the other end, dude, Adam Cole is going back to Toronto for possibly the last time as a pro wrestler.
Exactly.
He pretty scared to watch this.
Folks, as you will see at the end when we start discussing AEW, that whenever AEW talks start, I get wasted because I don't watch it yet. But Copeland match is one that even I am gonna watch. So yeah.
Yep. So yeah, everything else personally I feel on the WWE end.
Yeah, that is it.
We've covered everything. So we're going to now waste our beloved Jazz Cena because we're moving on to All Elite Wrestling, and if there's one thing that All Elite Wrestling hates, it's the biggest baby faces of the other company. So Jazz Cena, off you go. Now let's talk about the AEW World Championship and the World Champion, arguably the biggest babyface in the world of pro wrestling today, Hangman Adam Page, someone that we both love to get because we've followed his career from his days in Ring of Honor and NJPW, and we've seen the kind of stuff he can put up in a squared circle. So
Unbelievable inches cowboy.
I don't want to see MJF getting another title shot without cashing in that.
I don't think it's time for MJF. I don't think AEW is gonna make the same mistake that it did in 2022 and prematurely ending Adam Page's world title reign. I don't think that's gonna happen. But they obviously want to keep MJF atop because he is one of the biggest faces I right now. Not faces, but a person who is so the company. Yeah, he's face of the company. He's coming in movies. He's being a big star outside of it as well. I think it's gonna be Lashley versus MJF eventually. So I just see Hurt Business coming in and just destroying it. I can see FTR joining them as well, joining MJF and becoming the Pinnacle. I don't know who missed it, but maybe this time they can do better.
It was so forgettable part of his career.
Yeah, so that's something they can try, and that would be fun to watch. But Adam Page, I don't think he's gonna lose the title anytime soon. Who he can lose it to, I'm not sure, but I think he's gonna hold the title for a year. I hope so, because look at the matches that he can have, right? We are still yet to have a match against Kenny Omega,
That is one match I'd pay to watch.
right? Okada for sure.
Yep.
Maybe Fletcher.
Kyle Fletcher, yeah, upcoming talent. Will Ospreay.
Ospreay is injured, might be back in some time.
Swerve, second.
Swerve is the end goal here. He has to be the only time where we feel that he might lose the title. Swerve has to happen. A babyface Swerve versus a babyface Ant-Man is the match that should happen, and it will tear down. I think it's World's End. That is where it might happen. So that is my hopes. That's where I believe it might happen. One thing which I want to talk about next is Mercedes Moné. Do you think she's gonna lose the title to Athena this time?
No, dude. Honestly, 8 belts Monet has gotten stale for me. Some reason.
Good that she lost the title, by the way. If she didn't win the world title, I was thinking that she might do eventually, but she didn't. That's good. So makes sense.
I don't think Athena's taking away the title either, because I think Tony wants to keep her on the Ring of Honor side of things for now, at least.
Athena is facing Moné, right?
No, Athena's facing Tony.
Oh yeah, sorry. So Athena is. I don't think Athena is winning as well. I think Athena. I think. Yeah, I think Athena, if she's gonna win, she's gonna win the TBS title from Moné, and she's not gonna win it from Tony right now. But yeah, that's what I think.
No, see, I think the way that I see it, the person that will probably unseat Athena from the Ring of Honor World Championship right now, it seems to be Alex Windsor. She's being built to the move. So
Yeah,
when Alex Windsor takes the title off of Athena will go on to become the AEW World Champion.
I think she is built for that. She's been built for that world championship for a very long time now. I felt she's late. She should have been champion long time ago, but yeah, as soon as possible. She should get the crown for AEW. She has been the biggest leg or the biggest pillar from which ROH has been moving on. Tag Bandito, obviously, not anyone else, but coming to Bandito, I love it. I'm loving the Bandito and Brody King tag team here. I know Buddy is injured, but they're having fun.
No, I love something even more than that. I love the fact that they called back Generation V, Max and Jeremy. They didn't even go the distance of putting the 4 letters.
Generational CM Punk fan and sometime hater of Young Bucks and their attitude. I fucking love this segment, dude. I'm having the time of my life. They're shitting on them. I think Young Bucks takes themselves so unseriously. They do not care at times. At times, they do not care about their ego. They put talent over, they put story over at so many levels. I'm just too fun for these segments here.
Yeah. So I love the Max and Jeremy thing and the return of the beautiful Comic Sans spot of the title draw. That is the best part of the show for me. And moving on from one very memorable part to possibly, personally, the most memorable part of the show, a match that I would like to dub Daredevil versus Death Rider Supreme. We're getting Darby Allin versus John Moxley at Forbidden Door. And I would have paid huge money to see Dick Wheeler Utah get run over by that Escalade. He deserves nothing less.
Give all of my paid to be the Utah.
Would do.
Stupid.
What a manifested person.
He becomes such a chicken shit, by the way.
Yeah, no. He is not a heel though. He is just an idiot.
That is his character. That is his character now. He's just an idiot who put himself in dangerous position. He is that gang member who shouldn't be in a gang.
Yeah, exactly. He's that one non-belonging guy in every.
You know, is that guy from the Batman who got shit scared in the opening scene.
No, it's like that one vegetarian guy sitting in barbecue nation in one corner. That's tea. It's called it. That's
One very. Do they want to be cool, but we can't be cool. So we just build the if
So much. Raw metaphorical leg just to make Utah cool in any sense with this. So, yeah, coming back. I would have paid huge money to see Wheeler Utah run over. And so, honestly, I think Darby is going to do a great job of taking out every single person before John Moxley tries to step in at Forbidden Door. And I think Willow Nightingale is also going to step in again because their match still over, right? Nightingale and Marina Shafir are nowhere close to over, which is also going to be a great callback. And at this point, it's not about Utah being run over. I just want the Death Riders to die. It's over. It's past its prime.
but how will you end it though? Are you just gonna do Joshua a babyface turn and just disband them?
Have Utah kick Moxley in the nuts because he almost let Darby Allin run him over?
That would be a good ending actually. Just guys turning on each other and beating each other up would be a good option as well.
Or this is better. Let Flight of the Valkyries play, and both Claudio and John Moxley eat low blows a la Utah. That way, I will start loving Utah. That is probably the only way they can get people to start loving Utah again, because I don't see a different way, right? So, yeah, now that we've covered that, Kyle Fletcher as TNT champion is doing decent. He is going through a fatal 4-way match, I think, next.
I think he is the future of AEW.
Yeah, he's the future. He's a great talent. Don Callis, not so much. Don Callis is a bloody leech who hooks onto whatever is the biggest thing in the company, so he can go suck eggs.
I see a lot of discourse comparing him to Paul Heyman. I don't see any comparison here.
No, Paul Heyman is one of the biggest minds of this century because his work shows for it. Yeah, look at the kind of work he's done with WWE starting. I mean, not even WWE, even before that. You look at you look at the kind of talent he's brought up. He's brought up Rob Van Dam. He's brought up Brock
Because
Lesnar.
we do him,
Big Show. Big Show's actually a Paul Heyman guy, not many.
he is, yeah. Bobby Lashley is a top, Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman guy. Jake Hager is a Paul Heyman guy. Claudio Castagnoli is a.
Jake Hager needs parking. Let's not talk about Jake Hager.
He's parked his career. It doesn't matter. He's parked his career.
He parked his career in his transport business, by the way. That's what we
He's done $10 million in turnover last year, which is a great thing. So, yeah. Jake Hager's a Paul Heyman guy. Claudia Castagnoli is a Paul Heyman guy. Brock Lesnar is a.
CR Punk is a Paul Heyman guy. Roman Reigns is a Paul Heyman guy.
Reigns is a Paul Heyman guy. Dwayne Johnson is a Paul Heyman guy. Alpha and Sika are Paul Heyman guys. See, people, the reason we're going through all this pain is just to show that Paul Heyman has a lot of evidence to back up his claims that he's one of the best minds of pro wrestling in the 20th and 21st century. And Don Callis. Don Callis was a failure as a pro wrestler. He wasn't an amazing wrestler. He had a very forgettable gimmick. I think he was called Ace or something. I think he tried to rip off Sting's surfer gimmick or something like that. And then he went on to become a color commentator for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
That is how he made his name.
Exactly. He made his name as a color commentator. And then he leached himself on to Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho kicked him. Kenny Omega was kicked by him. He went on to Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay said no. Now Kyle Fletcher. You look at any of the trajectories of these people, you don't see how Don Callis has made a sizable impact.
Josh Alexander is part of it. Where Josh Alexander could be the biggest baby face.
Oh, Josh Alexander could be your next Bryan Danielson.
He is a living weapon. He's so damn good. He's so damn good.
The amount of technical wrestling that he brings to the table, he can become your next Bryan Danielson.
Imagine him versus who am I talking about?
Zack Sabre Jr.
Zack Sabre Jr., yes.
Exactly.
So the audience will know I forget names. So I'm sorry, Krishna is here, that's why. Naam Yoda.
I closing.
So audience will understand I forget names a lot. That's why we have Chris here, who remembers names for me. So yeah, continue.
Dude, you look at Don Callis. Don Callis is basically just a leech who's there to make money. I'm not against the making money part. I get everybody's there for the money,
But
but
he has that go away gate which no one wants.
yeah. No, you look at every single show that he's been on. You can see that Trent Barretta has the most hate for basically ending Chuck Taylor's career, putting Orange Cassidy on the shelf and breaking up something that was amazing in Best Friends. You will still see that he doesn't get as much hate as Don Callis does.
Yeah, exactly. He's not transferring that heat to his people who are his like team members, his staff members.
Lancaster, forgettable. Hechicero, double forgettable. If Hechicero is going to be signed to AEW at this point, Hechicero has no future. Because Tony Khan is not great at booking luchadors.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Hechicero, he's going to be part of the family.
Yeah.
Josh Alexander was a misfire. I don't understand why Josh Alexander is part of that family. Kyle Fletcher, fine. He walked behind Will Ospreay and eventually got there. Takeshita is the one guy who's actually seeing some success right now as part of the
And I hope he continues. Like he should be facing Hangman.
Takeshita's the biggest Japanese guy.
Yeah, he should be facing Hangman, and I can see him dethroning Hangman as well.
No, right now though he's in the G1 climax. I think he's past the. I think it's is going into the semifinals.
Yeah.
He's facing David Finlay, and whoever wins will face Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly. I'm not sure about the David Finlay part, but the winner of that match will face Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see how that turns out because Takeshita is someone I'd pay to watch.
Of
Maybe.
course. Takeshita.
Who else? What are the? I'm still waiting for Will Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. in an AEW.
I think AEW has gone into a good, stable position now. After the dump they had with Death Riders, now Hangman winning, and WWE being shit, that they have found their pace and they can just continue with this. So I'm just gonna watch it, I'm gonna enjoy it. I don't want to overanalyze it. So AEW is something that I'm gonna really just stick to and watch it and enjoy pro wrestling, where other companies just failing to do so. And they're making two other companies miserable as well with AA and TNA. That is what it is, but I'm just gonna enjoy AEW now.
They've also brought in Ishii last week on Collision.
Ichi is there, Hunse now. He comes in every few weeks. He comes in.
What parts of this match? And I've heard it's a great match, and it is polished because it's like the farthest that AEW can go to put up a Japanese pro wrestling match, which is a lot to say about a Japanese pro wrestling match. So for our audience that's not familiar with Japanese pro wrestling, it's a treat because
If you like the real strikes, you're gonna have a time of your life.
this is combat.
Time of your life. Yes. This is business. If no one has done proper pro wrestling like NJPW has done, but this probably at extreme.
I think people will get a taste of it when they watch some of Minoru Suzuki's work even in AEW. But yeah, stiff is all hell.
Minoru Suzuki versus Adam Cole is one of my favorite matches from Collision 2.
Mine's Minoru Suzuki versus Bryan Daniels.
Yeah, that is also a very fun match. I think for me, it was Adam Cole for the simple reason Adam Cole did not expect that he would be getting this much time. I don't think he was ever going to be.
For a guy that has very minimal Japanese pro wrestling experience. Yeah.
My favorite match. Yeah, sorry. My favorite match or NGP stand match is Bryan Danielson versus. Okay, let's cut this part. Let's not continue for a waste of time. So let's move in.
Yeah, so moving on. What were we going to talk about that one other thing? Brain fart.
NJPW का बोला था ना? Yeah.
Hiroshi Tanahashi. Yes, we need to talk Hiroshi Tanahashi. So, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so the next big thing that we need to talk about is a superstar on the other side of the pond going by the name of Hiroshi Tanahashi. So for people that are not familiar with Hiroshi Tanahashi is the John Cena of NJPW. He has been one of their mainstay faces for over 2 decades. He is called the ace of NJPW. Is currently serving a managerial position as well, serving as the president of NJPW, while also serving as the biggest babyface. So just like John Cena, Hiroshi Tanahashi is on the tail end of his career and is going through his retirement. So people are hoping for an amazing match of Hiroshi Tanahashi's at the AEW NJPW CMLL co-op event known as Forbidden Door happening in London in August. So is there any match that you'd like to see, Punk, for Hiroshi?
For Tanahashi, I think it was Brand Danielson I wanted him to face, but I don't think that's gonna happen. My biggest fantasy booking was they're gonna have John Cena and Hiroshi Tanahashi face each other. That's never gonna happen. I know, never gonna happen. If Tanahashi was at All In, who was he with? He was with the Ops, right? Who was he with?
The Texas one.
Yeah, the Texas one.
He went to aid the Ops.
Yeah, he came to the Ops. And Ops were facing the Death Riders. So it probably is gonna be Mox. But Mox, Tanahashi versus Cesaro or Claudio would be a very fun match to see. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's either going to be a respect match or babyface versus babyface. Who's the biggest babyface right now for me? Adam Copeland. Just have a showcase match with Tanahashi versus Adam Copeland. You don't have to do anything. We'll sell it.
Time for my hard take. I really want to see Eddie Kingston come back at Forbidden Door. Eddie Kingston would be
So much fun. That would be so much fun.
Kenta Kobayashi's star pupil taking on Antonio Inoki's star pupil. Can you hype me to watch that?
You mean, dude, it has to be Eddie now. It fucking has to be.
I want when compact. I mean, well-deserved 18 months nursing all of his physique, so I totally get.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston walking out in Wembley in August. That pop. Oh my god, that pop will be next level. I can't wait to see him back on the screen.
Yeah.
He's like anti-hero supreme.
She's gonna get the biggest babyface pop, by the way.
Yeah, dude, he's the biggest anti-hero in pro wrestling today. You can look at John Cena, Drew McIntyre, Gunther, Roman Reigns, anyone. Nobody is of the level of Eddie Kingston in terms of being an anti-hero.
In terms of delivering a passionate promo, he's at the par with Cody for me.
Yeah, he's better. He's better.
Yeah, he's better. He's real. He's always real.
Volumes. His experience speaks volumes for him.
Yeah, right.
I just want to see Eddie come back. So
I agree, no.
So yeah. So now that we've covered all of the AEW, I think Jazz is sleeping. I don't see
Jazz for a week. Jazz will be happy.
Guys, we are at the end of this video.
we can see some miracles.
Come,
So Cena is visible again. This is the end of the video. We have discussed WWE in detail. We have discussed AEW in slightly lesser detail. And we have discussed some legends on the other side of the world in the East with NJPW. It was amazing to hear these guys passionately talk about things that I don't watch. It was fun for all of you, hopefully, to hear all of us talk about things that we passionately watch. Looking forward to hosting you guys again for this podcast known as the Wrestling Folks Podcast. This is Jazz Cena.
This is G1 Punk.
And this is Chris Rhodes signing off, people.
And we are signing off. Bye-bye.
Peace.